If you are searching for ways to increase student engagement, you found the right video. What you will get with this video are tips on how to keep your students engaged for 10 minutes. If you're new to this channel, my name is D.Scott Schwartz. I am a former teacher, principal, and superintendent, and my dream is to coach every teacher in America. So let's get started. Have you noticed that all the tricks and techniques you have used for years in front of your class are no longer working online? Frustrating, isn't it? Don't worry, you are in the right place. This video will show you how you can keep your students engaged for 10 minutes. I know what you're thinking. My class is longer than 10 minutes. I gotcha. At the end of this video, I'll show you how to increase engagement for longer than 10 minutes. Most of you on YouTube don't know me yet, but there are 5,000 educators in New Jersey that do. So here's a secret about me. I am obsessed with student achievement. I know, I'm crazy. The part of my job that I loved the most was doing walkthroughs and coaching teachers on best practices to increase student understanding and achievement. If you want to learn more about my principal secrets, do me a favor and hit the like button. If I get 1,000 likes, I will make a video just on my background. I am creating these videos to be a free teacher tool to help you deliver better instruction online. We're all in this together. You have enough on your plate, so I thought I could help by doing field research on best online teaching practices. So this video is just one aspect I discovered over the last year. I hope you use my videos as a model and a template for your online classes. Now let's stop for 1 second. Were you aware of the soft engagement technique I just used? If you are taking notes, and I encourage you to watch my videos with a pen and a pad, here is tip number 1. Student engagement is about interactivity. In an online world, you don't have the ability to walk around the room. We have underestimated how important that one teacher strategy is. But this is one way around it. Make your classes very interactive. Look at your lesson plans. Count up how many checks for understanding you have. For each one, think of it as a way to get student interactivity and engagement. If you look at them as a way to increase engagement, you would add more. But here's something to consider. What I asked for was a soft engagement. What that means is that I only asked you to hit the like button if you want. As a teacher, you don't want soft engagement. You need the students to follow your instructions and complete the lesson tasks. That's why I want to show you a more direct engagement method. Pretend you are my student for a second. If you are my student, assume that you will follow my instructions. So I'm going to ask you to do a direct task. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button. I want you to hit the like button. But I am tracking student engagement, and this is one metric I am using. If you hit the like button right now, like you were a student following the teacher's instructions, you would have this data to work with later. I'll give you a second. Hit the like button now. Great job. Thank you for doing a great job. This video has a lot of tips and information, so at any point, if you want to pause, go back and rewatch, please feel free. How I learn best when I'm presented with a ton of information is to try to get an overview first, so watch the whole video, pick up what you can, and then deep dive back in later. You heard me talk about tracking engagement, and so I want to focus on that right now. It's very important for you to track student engagement. You went searching for help with getting more students engaged. Well, knowing if you lose them at 3 minutes or 10 minutes is a huge data point to know. That's why I created a free downloadable student tracker for you, which you can get 100% free, and you can find the link in the description below. I'm tracking using YouTube Analytics, but you will have to keep your own analytics. But that is why I created the student tracker for you. Before we dive into data, let me give you tip number 2. The 3-minute rule. According to the latest YouTube research, online videos have 7 seconds to grab the viewer's attention. 7 seconds. That's why the 3-minute rule is key for teachers to understand and master. What does the rule mean? If you can adjust your lesson plan and focus on the first 3 minutes as the make or break of your lesson, you might reconsider some of the things you do. Should you take attendance in the first 3 minutes? Should you begin a lengthy discussion? Should you talk about your day? Should you collect homework? What I want you to do is look at the first 3 minutes like a sports coach. You have 3 minutes to get them engaged and working. That's it. Later in this video, we will talk about the first 10 seconds. But for now, just focus on the first 3 minutes of class. Ready to do an example? I like using examples for the classroom because it outlines how you can implement these strategies today. I'm going to use a social studies lesson, but this will work for any subject. In this lesson plan, the unit is the American Revolution. The lesson objective is how to understand how the revolution began. Maybe one of the essential questions is who wrote the Declaration of Independence. In the first 3 minutes, in this class, I'm going to set the stage. Good morning, class. We are starting a unit on the American Revolution. This should take us about 3 days to cover. By the end of this week, you will know who fought in the revolution, who were the major players in the revolution, and why the revolution was fought. Right now, I want you to open your books to page 45. I want you to read the first 3 paragraphs. In those paragraphs, it will tell you who wrote the Declaration of Independence. When you find out who, I want you to write the name in your notebook. And I want you to write a number 1 on a separate piece of paper and hold it up to your camera when you are done. If you get stuck, that's okay. If you get stuck, I want you to write a number 2 on a piece of paper and hold it up to the camera. Any questions about the directions? And that's it. So check for questions and then we're good. All right. So in person, that might go differently. The teacher would post the objective of the day's lesson on the board. The teacher might go through a general check for background question, like who can tell me who wrote the Declaration of Independence? The online class is completely different than the in-person class. Does that make sense? You don't have to write your lesson plans, but you will need to rethink them. Which brings me to the next tip. The 9 elements of lesson planning. If you like that infographic, you can get a copy on my Twitter and Instagram accounts. You can find me at Rewards Pro on both platforms. Want to test out tracking engagement with me a second time? You will see how powerful this is. Remember, you are my student right now. It's important for you to really get into that mindset as you're watching this video. The more you can feel like a student, the more you will feel those techniques work. I am tracking engagement. What I want you to do now is go to Twitter or Instagram and find me at Rewards Pro. Get the infographic, screenshot it, heart it, and I will then see who has done that on my Instagram and Twitter account. Do you see how this works? Great job. Obviously, I can't go over all 9 elements in this video. Instead of a 10-minute video, this would be more like an hour. But what I can do is tell you the overall number 1 secret to online engagement. The number 1 secret is the final product. What is the final product? Let's use my video as an example. Let's go to the replay. If you are searching for ways to increase student engagement, you found the right video. What you will get with this video are tips on how to keep your students engaged for 10 minutes. In the first 10 seconds of the video, I told you exactly what you would get if you watched the whole video. No delay, no extended explanation. Now let's go back to the social studies example. Ready for the replay? Good morning, class. We are starting a unit on the American Revolution. This should take us about 3 days to cover. By the end of this week, you will know who fought in the revolution, who were the major players in the revolution, and why the revolution was fought. Did you see the similarities? It's powerful when you realize what is happening. It took me a year of research to figure out that one engagement secret out. I started the YouTube channel a year ago last August. If you really want to see how those tips compare to online videos without them, you can do an experiment. But maybe you want to take a quick breather. It's okay. I know this is a lot to take in. I ran back to school week-long workshops where I taught teachers a crash course in teaching techniques and special education. We're talking from modifications to reading IEPs to assessment strategies and even special ed law. It was 40 hours in 5 days. Trust me, I know all about cramming things in, but you can learn at your own pace here. You ready? This is going to be a game changer. All right, so here's the experiment. If you go back to one of my older videos, you have to promise that you're going to follow these data protocols. You can pick any older video, but whatever one you pick, you must watch for 60 seconds. The reason is that you need valid data, and you won't get that unless you watch a full 60 seconds. So here are the questions that you're going to follow. How long does it take to explain the lesson objective? What time is the first direct engagement interaction? And 3, at what time do you feel that you are tuning out? Collect all of that info and then compare it to this video. Do the same thing. Watch the first 60 seconds of this video and answer the same questions. How long does it take to explain the lesson objective? What time is the first direct engagement interaction? And 3, at what time do you feel that you are tuning out? Your mind will be blown away. When it clicked for me, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Are you overwhelmed? All right, let's recap. We went over what is important to tell the students, what they will get in the end of the lesson in the first 10 seconds. We also learned that we want to use the first 3 minutes to get the students working right away. We learned how to use direct engagement tasks to keep their interest. Did you notice how long you've been watching this video? We're almost there, the last push to 10-minute student engagement. And at the very end, remember, I'm going to show you how to go over 10 minutes. I'll be very honest with you. I don't know exactly why these techniques work. I've been using them a couple weeks now, and it's a breakthrough for me. And I just wanted to share what's working for me with all of you. I also have a team of college future teacher interns, and they are working on finding research that explains why this works. So when we figure it out, we're going to make a video. What I do know is that your students are watching thousands of hours of videos online, and they have become conditioned. That's why all of my videos from now on will tell you what you get in the first 10 seconds. So here's bonus trick number 1. I happen to be an expert in positive behavior support strategies and also classroom management. That's why I was the administrator that developed the Novice Teacher Training Program in New Jersey. But this strategy works for all kids, and I will help with increasing engagement online. Use direct verbal praise. What does that really mean? When you were in class, you may have made comments like, "Great job, class," or "I like what I'm seeing." In an online environment, that won't work. In fact, it will work against you. Here's the difference. In class, the students can see there are other kids. To them, the perspective is, I'm part of a group. But that is not their perspective online. Online, the class is all about them. If you are not speaking directly to them, they are not paying attention. Think about your interactions in the online class now. Have you been giving verbal praise to the whole class? And has it been working? Have some students become more disruptive or distracted? It's this weird perspective shift that students are being faced with. They can't see the other students, so that makes them feel like you need to pay more individual attention to them. But here's an easy fix. Just attach the name of the student to the praise. So instead of saying, "Class, you did a great job," just say, "Brian, great work," or "Brianna, awesome work." Let me stop and mention my third metric for tracking engagement. And this one is all about you. Yes, you. If you feel overwhelmed with everything in this video, or you get stuck rethinking your lesson plans, I'm here for you. I know how bad one and done professional development workshops are. That's why at the beginning of this year, I dedicated my time to trying to coach every teacher in America. If you need me, you can find me at the Facebook group I set up. I check it every day, and you can message me directly there. I'm putting the link to the group in the description below. Yes, go to Facebook and send me a message. Even if you just want to say hello or this video rocks, I read everything there. Did you realize you've been watching for about 10 minutes? Huh? But we both know that right about now is when your students will start to lose focus again. That is why I promised to show you how to increase engagement beyond 10 minutes. I wanted you to see, though, what 10 minutes felt like. Did you feel everything that we did in 10 minutes? All right, so let's recap again. I did a final product in the first 10 seconds. I did 3 engagement trackers. I did a first 3-minute rule to bring you into the video immediately and something to think about. I also repeated the final product a few times to keep you motivated. But you're highly motivated already. You search for this video, your students may not be that highly motivated. This is what I recommend doing for longer engagement. First, understand that I'm not some YouTuber. I'm a certified educator who is using YouTube to teach. There is a huge difference. If anyone understands what you are dealing with in your classes, it's definitely me. I've been there in the classrooms by myself and with my staff. I don't like how parents are judging teachers on their skills when you were never trained for online teaching. It's not fair. That's why I dedicated to help every teacher in America conquer this challenge. You can do this. We can all do this. We are very smart and highly educated people. If you YouTubers can figure this online engagement thing out, so can we. Here's my recommendation. Put yourself in your student's chair. They are sitting at home and a million distractions are going on. Before the shutdown, if a kid got distracted, you knew how to bring them back. You could walk over, you could give them a look, maybe it's a chronic issue and you have a secret reminder with them. I mean, you're a teacher. You know how to manage your class. But in this online world, you can't walk over to a kid. Did you see the technique I have been using for the last 2 minutes? No? All right. I made this lesson about the student. I made this video about you imagining in a classroom. Happy times, remember? All right. I have made this lesson about you. The funny thing about video is that the student thinks you are talking to them individually. And if you aren't, you've lost them. So take a moment to let that sink in. In an online class, it's about them. Beginning, this may feel like a lot, but once you get used to it, you will be able to get engagement from about 5 to 10 minutes every single time. Want one more bonus trick? All right, here's bonus number 2. I saw a teacher do this the other week and I immediately thought this is a great strategy for teachers. Most online programs for a class have a digital hand that kids can raise. In Zoom, it's the blue hand. If you remember, I talked about online engagement needs interactivity. If you try and talk for 10 minutes, your students will think you're a boomer and they tune you out. Okay, if you use the 3-minute rule, you can do this every 3 minutes, where you ask the students to click the hand icon to check for engagement. If you don't use the 3-minute rule, you should do this every 60 seconds. By raising the digital hand, you can collect data on who is paying attention and who isn't. You will want to track that information. I hope this video was a huge help and you had a few aha moments. If you get stuck or you want to reach me, find me in the Facebook group. I will continue to do research on improving online teaching techniques and strategies, which means I will be posting a lot more videos. If you want to know when a video is posted, hit subscribe and the notification button. You will get an alert as soon as a video is posted. If you had an aha moment during this video, the biggest thanks you can give me is to share this with every teacher in your school. We are all in this together. Share your aha moments with them. When I had an aha moment, I had to share it with you. If we all work together, we will master this situation just like we handle everything else, with professional class and dignity. It took me all of September to figure out this one secret. Well, once it clicked, I said I needed to let every teacher in America know. So thank you and keep up the great work.